Hi-ho there. Hope everyone's well. Checking back in. So, I recently picked up a bunch of different rules for different games. I picked up the Cypher System core book. I've had people tell me that they really like Manera, so it seemed like a good idea to pick up the core book for Cypher System. I've had some people who disagree with liking Manera. I think, for my standpoint, what it sounded like they were proposing for Manera didn't actually end up being what they made. Or, more to the point, my vision was different from what it actually ended up being. So, disappointment's worse than bad. It's probably a pretty good game, but I really kind of wanted a Thunder the Barbarian type post-apocalyptic fantasy game, and it's not that. And a friend of mine bought it early on and was like, yeah, it's not that. And so I never actually went and checked it out. But I have heard good things about the rules, if nothing else, so I'm going to pick up I went ahead and picked up the Cypher System rulebook, and I may eventually check out Manera. Most of my friends didn't end up playing it, didn't end up picking it up, but some of the YouTube people that I've talked to have picked it up and thought it was awesome. So, and some of my podcasting buddies have played it as well. So maybe it's just the circle I was gaming with. Who knows? Different tastes, different strokes for different folks is what they say. I also picked up Fantasy Age, the Fantasy Age basic role playing game book from Green Ronin, and that one's interesting. It's first off, I played Dragon Age for all the games, many hours. I'm on my 4th playthrough of Inquisition right now, so that gives you an idea. And a single playthrough, if you're a completionist, usually without the DLC, it's almost 90 hours of play. With the various DLC, you're adding another 20 hours. So yeah, it's kind of insane how much I've played that game. But, and the previous ones had similar play on them. So, Fantasy Age is based off of the role-playing game that was written for Dragon Age. They basically went, this system's pretty good. Maybe we should just make a generic system out of it. So they did. And it very much feels like an old D&D. You roll for your stats. It's very simple rules. They incorporated, things like backgrounds and a few other things, but it doesn't have that the reliance on a D20 that a D&D clone would have. But it still feels like old school D&D. So I find it fascinating to look at. I don't know if I will ever be able to convince anybody to play it, but I find that the rules are simple and streamlined and easy to understand, and so, maybe I might be able to convince somebody to try it. It's certainly worth checking out. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend that you check it out. It's a short rule book. It's not a very big rule book, and you can get it on PDF for cheap. So I would do that. The other core rule that I picked up was the Feng Shui Kickstarter for Feng Shui 2 showed up, and wow. It reminds me of all the things that I loved about the original Feng Shui. A lot of how I game actually was changed by just some basic concepts that are in Feng Shui. And, like the concept of mooks. It shows up in 4th edition. It's systematized in D&D, but it actually, the notion of it is amazing. That, you know what? If you don't need to know the name of the bad guys, that there's, endless hordes of this particular type of bad guy, the PC should be outrageously able to defeat them, kill hundreds of them, and not, break a sweat. If you're wanting to go for a more cinematic, epic style. Now, if you're trying to be a little more, I don't know, not necessarily Conan-esque, but a little grim, a little more harsh, you wouldn't want to do that. But if you're trying to generate a cinematic feel of combat being this epic, the heroes are able to take apart people left, right, and center, and they don't need to really start dealing with systematized, am I bad enough to take this guy, until they learn the name of the guy. That came out of Feng Shui. I thought that was a neat idea. And there are a number of other neat ideas along those lines that Feng Shui did way back when, and the new book is excellent. It's I would be interested in playing another Feng Shui game. Part of the thing with Feng Shui is you have to have been something of a fan of the original genre it was designed to reflect. It was designed to reflect Hong Kong action films, and then sort of expanded out from there. But so the insane sort of gun tricks that you can do are based off some of the insane tricks that actually happen in the Hong Kong action films. The John Woo aesthetic is very much integrated into Feng Shui, so you want to have that, but it also has that Gonzo element that comes from the sort of pulp genre stuff. They have like multiple time periods. It's very much more of a setting thing than a core rules for any game. It's very tied to its own setting, and its setting is sort of a cross-time setting. You could go back to the ancient past, or you could go into a post-apocalyptic future with two competing armies led by intelligent chimps. The battle chimp Potemkin. I wish I was making that up, but that is one of the character names. And Furious George was the other one. These are awesome. It's lots of Chinese mysticism and martial arts everywhere. Everybody knows martial arts because it's the genre. And so it's definitely worth checking out. They have the PDF of it up, so you can get it. But yeah, that's what I've been looking at lately. I've also been playing a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition, which has been eating my head since they came out with the new DLC. And so that's what's been actually eating a lot of my headspace, gaming headspace lately. I really need to just break down and get the Dragon Age role-playing game and run a Dragon Age game at some point, because I know entirely too much about the lore of the world, and maybe I should just get around to, running a game in it, or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is a quick update. Tomorrow or Sunday, I'm going to be recording some podcasting stuff. I don't know if it will go up tomorrow or Sunday. It depends on how much editing work I have to do on it. But I will be recording it. And I've got another one lined up for the next week. both of which will have guests. So that'll be cool. And I'll post links and such on the various social media. Anyways, I don't know. I'll be back. I may be back tomorrow after I'm done recording the podcasting stuff. I'm crazy like that. I'm a wacky guy. Super wacky. Super wacky. I am in a weird mood tonight. So I'm just going to end it here. Subscribe, like, share with all the people. And, try not to stab anyone on the way home, I guess. I wish I'd listened to that advice more often.